you who are joining for the first time. So this morning's session is the last one on protein, but it's actually much better than that. All right, it's much better than that. Today I'm actually going to give you everything that you need put together in context. All right, so if you've been finding this information real useful over this last week, all right, if you've been finding it real useful, but you're trying to figure out how to put it all together into a simple plan that you can follow that will get you results, then stick around because today's message is just for you. Today I'm going to give you a meal plan that you can follow. It's real simple, and whether you are, I hope that you caught yesterday's Periscope, because yesterday I actually gave you quite a lot of clues as to which body type that you were based on a whole bunch of different symptoms that you were experiencing. And if you found yourself in one, if there was a clear standout group that you were a part of, and you loved the recommendations that I was giving, but you really just need some help putting it all into context, then this is what today is about. I'm going to give that to you in the form of a meal plan that you can follow. So look, if you are listening to this morning and you're at home, then you want to sit there with a pen and paper. If you are listening to it on the go, all right, then look, Periscope has this awesome record function where it'll record this message for 24 hours. So it'll be available up until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay, so that'll give you the opportunity to replay so that you can sit there with a pen and paper later in order to take notes as to what meal plan you should be following to get results for you. So let me tell you a little bit about me. If you are joining for the first time and you don't know me, let me just introduce myself real quick. My name's Taryn Thompson. I've been on my own health journey. I've lost 28 kilos. And so over the last 6 years, I really dedicated myself to helping people achieve their ideal body. All right, so I specialize in 2 areas. That's hormone health and health coaching. So well done for joining us this morning. Okay, so yesterday I put 3 groups together. All right, so I put groups together which would help you recognize how much protein it is that you should be having based on a bunch of different symptoms that you were experiencing. All right, so one of the groups was about storing fat globally. If you found yourself in that situation where you don't really put fat on in any one area, but you store it everywhere, then there were a bunch of symptoms that I gave you for that. If you stored fat predominantly around your midsection, and there were a bunch of other symptoms that I gave for that. And then also if you stored fat around the bottom half, all right, so around your bottom and your legs, your thighs, and if you develop that real cellulite kind of fat, all right, then I gave you a bunch of symptoms as well that went along with that. So if you missed yesterday's Periscope, then you can actually go onto my website, all right, at generationhealth.co.nz. You can select the contact us and you can just message me, and what I'll do is then I'll email you the recording. Okay, so if you missed yesterday's, you're not able to view it on Periscope anymore, I'll actually email you the recording which you'll be able to view on YouTube. Okay, so you can just hit the contact us button and I'll send that to you. All right. So if you fell into the where you carried fat around your midsection and or your bottom half, okay, so your legs, your buttocks, the thighs, etc. If you fell into that category, then you needed to be eating between 50 to 75 grams of protein a day. All right, so that's 50 to 75 grams. Now, how do you know whether you should be closer to 50 or closer to 75? It's going to depend on the exercise that you're doing. So if you're doing a lot of exercise, then you're going to be leaning more towards the 75 grams. If you were storing fat globally, all right, so not really in any one place, but globally, and or you had a fatty roll just underneath the bust, if you're a woman, if you were a guy, then if you are storing fat in, if you have like a pot belly, all right, so around your midsection, it's not really hanging or sagging, but it's quite firm and round, all right. If you're a guy, we don't get that shape, ladies, we get it just a roll underneath the bust. So if you were there, then the recommendation I gave was no more than 35 grams of protein coming from an animal. Okay, so animal sources of protein, no more than 35 grams. Now there are some exceptions to that, so eggs are an exception and easily digestible proteins are an exception, but I'm going to let you know what those are today in the form of a plan. So first of all, this can be quite a lot of information to actually put together in context and for you to start doing right away, all right? The meals that I've got here that are pretty easy to start with are using soups, okay? So making a soup, a vegetarian source of protein that you can put into soups, which is pretty acceptable if you're a Westerner, is lentils. All right, lentils, and you can even go to the supermarket and get a can of mixed beans. All right, so that's a great vegetarian source of protein, is by making a soup and using mixed beans. Also, you could make a quiche. All right, so this is quite a common one that we do in our household. On a Sunday when we usually do our meal prep, we make a whole bunch of roast vegetables, line them in a baking tray, and then we get about 24 eggs and shake them up just in a shaker bottle. All right, and then we just cover the roasted veggies, and then we bake the whole thing, and that's a quiche. Now that'll give us many servings for the week. All right, 24 eggs in there. Another one we do is we make a Thai curry. So a Thai curry, just using a whole bunch of different vegetables in a big pot or a slow cooker you could use, and using a Thai curry paste and coconut milk. And then the protein source we use those cans of mixed beans. All right, so that's another real easy source of vegetarian protein. Chickpea and spinach curry is another real easy one to do. And many of these recipes are actually on our website. Okay, many of these recipes are on our website, so if you didn't catch that, generationhealth.co.nz, these are the super easy ones which you can use. Okay, now, I'm not much of a cook at all, but I know how to follow instructions. My husband is the cook. Another real easy source of vegetarian protein, which is pretty acceptable in our Western culture, is falafel. All right, falafel is super easy. If you want to make it yourself, you can get it from Countdown, and it's in a pre-made mix. The ingredients are super clean. Lisa's Hummus does one, but also a real good one that we use is done by Olive Grove. All right, so Olive Grove does a real awesome falafel base, and I use that with, it's a real good snack for kids. I actually roast up a whole bunch of veggies, mash them, like broccoli, courgette, cauliflower, and mash all that together with some pumpkin, and then I mix the falafel mix together with the veggie mix, and then I just pan fry that in some coconut oil. It's a really, really good meal for my 1-year-old, just as a side note. Okay, so what you can do is you can use these meals as a combination of these meals as the meals that you prep for your day to try and keep that animal protein low if you were the category that needed to monitor that. Now, if you were not, if you were the lower half of fat storage or an adrenal fat storage and you are 50 to 75 grams, look, I still recommend that you try and incorporate some veggie protein meals. The reason why is because the liver, it really eases up on the liver's job, all right? It's the liver that's really got to break down and metabolize the protein. But, you know, what you may not realize is that your liver has a whole bunch of work to do. And we want it to prioritize metabolizing our fat so that we can excrete it, all right? So if we can ease up on the liver with having to metabolize protein, then it'll be able to spend more time doing what we want it to do, which is to metabolize fat. Now, that's put in real simple terms. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but any way that you can ease up on the liver will significantly help. So that's some recipes that you can, some meal ideas that you can put together. Now, here's how you can structure into an actual meal plan. Now, what I recommend everyone start with is using a meal replacement shake. Now, I specifically recommend the one from USANA, and you might see me when I use props, you might see me use my shaker bottle, and that's because every morning when I wake up to prepare for my periscope, look, I just make myself a shake for breakfast. It's super easy. It's easy to digest, first thing in the morning when I'm not really feeling like food. But I also love all the ingredients. There's nothing in here that I don't know what it is. All the ingredients I can read and understand. There's heaps of fiber in here. All right, there's a lot of fiber, which is usually missing from meal replacement shakes. It's packed full of vitamins. It's got all your proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And the protein that they use is actually a blend of proteins, including vegetarian sources of protein. So it's super easy on the liver. Super low GI. Super low GI. If you're familiar with the low GI, has a GI of 25. Okay, which is super low. Okay, so what I recommend is that you replace 1 to 2 meals using this meal replacement shake. Okay, so what that means is it'll give you the opportunity to just put your focus on preparing one main meal, okay, or 2 if you're only replacing 1 meal with a shake. Okay, so with preparing 1 to 2 main meals and then your snacks. Okay, so if you're using a meal replacement shake, then this will take care of breakfast and lunch, all right, and then you only need to focus on preparing 1 main meal, which could be your dinner that you have with your family, and then 2 to 3 snacks, all right. So if you had this for breakfast, and then you prepared a snack, and then you had this for lunch, and then you had your other prepared snack, and then you had one of those meals that I recommended, so a soup or the roast veggie quiche or the Thai curry or the chickpea and spinach curry for your other main meal, and then you only had to prepare 2 to 3 other snacks depending on how late you're up. Okay, so that's what I would recommend. That is going to get you the results straight away. All right, without you having to put a whole bunch of focus and energy into preparing the meals that fit the criteria of what I'm recommending in order to ease up on the liver, in order to make sure that, if you are someone who eats a lot of meat and you are, a bit of a carnivore, but you really want the result, but you don't know how to really cook and prepare meals that are not heavy in meat, then this is going to be a real good solution for you. Okay, it's going to be a real good solution for you. It's going to enable you to get the result straight away while you experiment with a few different meals to make it fit that criteria of getting your protein under 35 grams a day. So if you do fall into that category where you were someone that stored fat globally or had a roll underneath the bust or a pot belly, and you know that you need to get your animal protein down right away, all right, then 35 grams can be your main meal where you're getting your protein, where you actually do use some animal protein. Okay, so for an example, how that might look is you may replace breakfast and lunch with the meal replacement shake. All right, and then at the end of your day with your meal is where you might have your chicken with your vegetables and a low starch vegetable. All right, so something like a bit of corn or a bit of pumpkin. All right, so that may be the way that you reduce your animal protein down by still being able to eat it at the end of the day and still getting the result. Okay, so that's a viable option for you. So if you are interested in knowing about some real easily digestible proteins that you can incorporate within your snacks, cottage cheese, eggs, especially if the yolk is runny. Sashimi is super good. It's a wee bit on the pricey side, but it's because it's raw, it's super easily digestible by the liver. Peanut butter and tahini, nuts and seeds are all considered easily digestible proteins. If you are going to have steak, then it's best to have it rare. Okay, it's best to have it rare. So how you'll know whether when your body is actually improving in health is when you notice these 7 things. All right, so your energy levels will increase, your sleep quality gets better, the amount of time that you are sleeping for, your cravings will go down, overall digestion improves. You'll notice that you'll be losing centimeters, so you should notice it around your waist especially, and you'll also notice that on the scales you'll be losing weight. Okay, so that's how you know when your hormones are starting to re-regulate and get back into balance. That's how you know when you can see an improvement in those 7 things. Now, if your protein is quite low and you are noticing that you are getting an improvement there, and you want to start to increase it, then I would strongly recommend that you just wait until you see an improvement before you increase your protein. Wait till you see an improvement in those 7 areas. Okay, so I hope that you've got some real value from that. Remember that this is recorded if you want to check out the replay. If you need some help with the snacks, yep, that's no problem. It's just, it was a bit much to put into the Periscope this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make that available to you. I have a snack cheat sheet. Okay, the snack cheat sheet, which some will be lower in protein, and some of the snacks will be higher in protein. Okay, so depending on which body type you were, depending on whether you needed 50 to 75 grams of protein in your day, or whether you needed to be keeping it lower to under 35 grams of protein a day, I'm going to actually email you the snack cheat sheet, which will have, it's got about 15 different snacks on there that you can choose from. Okay, so if you want to get access to that cheat sheet, then you need to contact me through my website. Okay, now I've already given it to you, but in case you missed it, generationhealth.co.nz. All right, go to generationhealth.co.nz and hit the contact us. If you want the snack cheat sheet, just in the inquiry, just put there, email me the snack cheat sheet, and then I'll email it to you right away. Okay. Also, I wanted to just let you know that if you are interested in group coaching, okay, if you are interested in group coaching, if you get real value from these sessions that I do Monday to Thursday morning, look, I do one-to-one, but as I mentioned a little while ago, I'm not taking on any more one-on-one clients unless you were desperate. All right, now I do have a heart, so if you were desperate, then I could fit in 1 or 2, but it's not really an area that I want to be increasing in right now. So what I'm doing as a solution is starting another group coaching group, which I've done before. I'm going to start that in September. Okay, so if you're interested in that, stick around. I will, at some point, as we get closer to September, put a feature on the website where you can opt for that. Okay, so that's it for this morning. Just so that you know, I do Periscopes Monday to Thursday at 8 a.m. This weekend, I'm actually taking another little bit of a holiday. I'm taking my son down to Christchurch to visit his cousins, his auntie and uncle, and his grandparents. That's where my husband's family is from. So I'm actually going to be taking Monday off, right? Having a bit of a long weekend. So I won't be around on Monday morning, but we'll be right back to it on Tuesday to Thursday next week, 8 a.m. New Zealand time. Hope that you really got some value from the session, from this message today. If you want to share this, go right ahead. The way that you share on Periscope is by swiping up or swiping to the right on your screen, and it'll actually ask you whether you want to share to your other Periscope followers or whether you want to share to through Facebook if you're using that as your social media platform. Also, you might notice from time to time there are some hearts that pop up in the screen, and that's just people showing the appreciation for the content, just like that. And the way that you do that is by tapping on the screen. So when you tap on the screen, hearts pop up, and that's just showing that you are loving the message. So that's great, guys. Thanks for the hearts. All right, see you all next Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend, and remember to message me through my website if you'd like that cheat sheet. Okay, have a great weekend.